From MLB.com, this is the Morning Lineup Podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Castrovins. Today is Monday, June 30th. It's the last day of June, and that's a good thing for the New York Mets, who are on the wrong side of a shakeup in the NL East. We'll talk about that, as well as the awakening of Aaron Judge, the surging St. Louis Cardinals, and everything else you need to know about baseball today. Let's get to it. Only 18 days ago, the Mets were riding a 6-game winning streak and in possession of a 5.5-game lead on the second-place Phillies in the National League East. They had the best winning percentage in MLB, largely on the strength of the stingiest pitching staff in the sport. But in the short time since, we've seen a flip-flop at the top of the East. The Phillies are now in control. In the last 18 days, they've had the best pitching staff by ERA in the National League, while the Mets, who have put both Kodai Senga and Griffin Canning on the IL, have had MLB's worst, with a mark well over 6. Sunday was a stark example of these two teams headed in opposite directions. We'll start with the Phillies, who sent Ranger Suarez to the mound opposite the Braves' Spencer Strider and were treated to what has become a customarily lengthy dose of Ranger danger for their opponent.
It's a 6-pitch 7th inning. Ranger Suarez, 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 run for the 3rd consecutive start.
Suarez was sensational in the Phillies' 2-1 win to cap a series victory in Atlanta. In his last 10 starts, Suarez has gone at least 6 innings each time while pitching to a 1.19 ERA. That's the best 10-start stretch by a Phillies pitcher since Cliff Lee in 2011. Since Suarez's 10-start stretch began on May 10th, his ERA is the best in the majors among active pitchers, while teammate Zach Wheeler is second with a 1.50 mark, and Christopher Sanchez is also in the top 20 with a 2.72 mark. The Phillies aren't producing many runs of late, but with the pitching they're getting, and with Bryce Harper returning from a wrist injury, perhaps as soon as today, they've put themselves in position to maintain ownership of the East. The Mets, on the other hand, are a mess at the moment. After a loss to the Pirates on Saturday, they held a players-only meeting with the hope that it would set off a spark similar to what they saw roughly a season ago. Instead, on Sunday at PNC Park, their June swoon continued from inning 1, when the Pirates jumped all over Mets offseason signee Frankie Montas, who was making his second start of the season after beginning the year on the IL with a lat injury. The Buccos got on the board with a Cabrian Hayes 2-out, 2-run single, and then up-stepped O'Neal Cruz.
And Cruz with a drive to right field and clear the deck. A Cruz missile and a cannonball. His 14th, it's 4-0 Pirates in the first.
Tommy Pham followed with a solo shot to cap the 5-run first, and the Pirates went on to beat and sweep the reeling Mets 12-1. So in that span of 18 days, the Phillies have turned a 5.5-game deficit into a 1.5-game lead on the Mets in the NL East. Though Juan Soto has awakened, the Mets pitching staff has taken on water in a major way, while the Phillies are riding Rescue Ranger and one of the best starting staffs in MLB. The Mets weren't the only New York team laboring of late. The Yankees entered Sunday having lost 10 of their last 15 games, scoring a total of just 14 runs across the 10 losses. They had been shut out 4 times in that span, including Saturday's 7-0 blanking by the A's. Turns out when Aaron Judge isn't flirting with 400, as he was in the season's first 2 months, the Yankees' offensive output looks quite a bit different. Judge had been 9 for 51 with 21 strikeouts over his last 14 games entering Sunday, with his season average reduced from 390 to 354. But on Sunday, with their old pal Luis Severino on the mound for the A's, Judge and the Yankees roared to life. Jazz Chisholm Jr. got the Yanks going with a homer in the second, and then came to bat with the bases loaded in the third.
Drilled into right center field. That's going to get down. 2 runs will score. Rice is going to score. Chisholm into third with a bases clearing triple.
The following inning, Judge, who was in the DH spot because of a sore back, shook off his recent schneid.
Well, got to that one. Deep to left field, and the Judge has spoken. Home run number 29 for Aaron Judge.
Judge would add another homer in the 7th, giving him his 5th multi-homer game of the season and 30 homers overall. Only Mariners catcher Cal Raleigh, with 32, has more. The Yankees' 12-5 win, combined with the Rays' 5-1 loss to the Orioles, gives New York a 1.5-game edge in the AL East. Coming up, the birds are the word in the NL Central. That's after the break. Hey, remember when the Cardinals were going to trade any and all of their quote-unquote old guys, including third baseman Nolan Arenado and starter Sonny Gray? Turns out those wily vets are key parts of St. Louis's surprise season of contention and recent surge. The Cards came to Cleveland over the weekend and humbled a struggling Guardians team. Gray's pitching performance on Friday was one of the absolute best you'll ever see. A complete game, one-hit shutout with 11 strikeouts on only 89 pitches. And after the Cards stormed back from an early 5-run deficit for their biggest comeback win of the season on Saturday, they throttled Logan Allen and the Guards on Sunday with a 7-0 win that included Arenado's 1900th career hit and 400th career double. Paul Goldschmidt, Freddie Freeman, Andrew McCutchen, and Jose Altuve are the only other active players to reach both of those milestones. The Cardinals have now won 10 of their last 13 to move a season-high 9 games over 500. In that span, they've cut their NL Central deficit against the Cubs from 7 games to just 2.5. It looks like we should start talking about who they'll trade for instead of who they'll trade away. Elsewhere in MLB, believe it or not, the hottest team in baseball right now is the Miami Marlins, who rallied with a 5-run 8th inning in Arizona to complete a 6-4 comeback victory over the D-backs and extend their winning streak to 7 games. A national Sunday night baseball audience got to witness a typically brilliant Tarik Skubal outing. The Tigers' ace and reigning Cy Young winner held the Twins to a single hit and a walk with 13 strikeouts in 7 shutout innings as Detroit won 3-0. During the Dodgers' series victory over the Royals in Kansas City, two-way superstar Shohei Ohtani continued to build up his workload on the mound. On Saturday, Ohtani made his 3rd start of the season and his first of multiple innings in working 2 scoreless. He retired Vinny Pasquantino on an inning-ending double play in the 1st with a fastball that registered 101.7 miles per hour, the fastest of Ohtani's MLB career. Think word has gotten around about Nationals power hitting sensation James Wood. He was intentionally walked 4 times in the Nats 7-4 win over the Angels on Sunday. The last player to be intentionally walked 4 times in a game was Barry Bonds. White Sox outfielder and possible midseason trade candidate Luis Robert Jr. was placed on the injured list Sunday with a left hamstring strain prior to the club's 5-2 series-clinching victory over the Giants. Will Benson's bases-loaded single brought home the winning run in the bottom of the 9th as the Reds beat the Padres 3-2 for their 6th series win in their last 7 tries. The Blue Jays beat the Red Sox 5-3 to take a weekend series in Fenway and will now return home for a big home series starting today against the Yankees, whom they trail by just 3 games. The Astros capped a 19-7 June, reached 50 wins, and spoiled Kyle Tucker's return to Houston with a 2-0 series-clinching win over the Cubs. It was the Astros' 10th straight win in a game started by Framber Valdez. After rookie skipper Warren Schaefer's animated ejection, the Rockies notched a comeback 4-3 11-inning win over the Brewers to avoid a weekend sweep. Mitch Garver went deep against his old team in the 12th inning of the Mariners' 6-4 series-clinching win over the host Rangers. Finally, MLB lost a legend over the weekend with Saturday's passing of the Cobra, Dave Parker, at the age of 74 after a long battle with Parkinson's. Parker was a 7-time All-Star, a 3-time Gold Glove and Silver Slugger winner in right field, and a 2-time batting champ. He was the NL MVP in 1978 and the heart and soul of the 1979 world champion We Are Family Pirates. He won another ring with the A's a decade later. He was also MLB's first home run derby champ in 1985. But what made Parker's death even more heartbreaking was it came mere weeks before he was to finally be inducted in his rightful spot in the Hall of Fame. Parker will now be posthumously honored along with the rest of the class of 2025 on Sunday, July 27th in Cooperstown. May the Cobra rest in peace. That's all for today's morning lineup. Be sure to check out MLB.tv's free game of the day when Chase Burns makes his 2nd career start for the Reds in the opener of a series at Fenway Park. Burns struck out the first 5 Yankees he faced in his MLB debut last week, and now we'll see what he can do against another AL East foe in the Red Sox at 7:10 p.m. Eastern Time. I'll be back with you tomorrow to recap all that and more. Until then, thanks for listening. Please be sure to leave us a rating and a review, share this episode with the baseball lovers in your life, and enjoy the games today.